Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is the Onealien Show. And guess what? Your host is here, John O'Neill. I'm here with you for the next little while, so buckle your seatbelts and let's go on this ride. Starting off with this episode that is brought to you by Whole Harmony Healing. Whole Harmony believes in treating the whole person, the body, the mind, and the spirit, using holistic methods to assist amazing individuals work through past experiences and heal from the inside out. Please visit wholeharmonyhealing.com today and schedule your appointment. We appreciate Whole Harmony Healing. So here we are once again on Wednesday afternoon, and man, oh man, am I grateful? Yes, I am. Am I thankful? Yes, I am, right? For you, not just for myself, not just for the amazing things going on, but I'm grateful for you who continue to tune in, who continue to interact on all of our social media, our whole entire network, who continue to log on and listen to shows on starworldwidenetworks.com. You know that there's a whole list on the Onealien Show there. You know that you could both watch in video, or you could just tune in audio. Both of them are loaded up on starworldwidenetworks.com. So TikTok and Instagram and in Twitter and Facebook, all of them are lit up. And they're lit up because of you interacting with me, you interacting with the Onealien Show. And so we are forever grateful, because without you, what are we doing? Right? So the Onealien Show is here. So, oh my goodness. Don't let me forget, but Sidewalk Square Counting, it's done. It's wrapped up. I know I said the first, you know how things go. You want to make sure it's right. So it is about to be available. I believe we're going to start pre-ordering very soon. So just pay attention, stay tuned, stay connected. Onealien.com is one place you could look for it at. And you know what? Sidewalk Square Counting. Soon to be an author. It's exciting. It's amazing. Soon to be an author. Wow. If you would have ever told me that, I would have agreed, but I didn't know when it was going to happen. And divine timing is the perfect timing. So it's here. Sidewalk Square Counting is the poetry book by your author, John O'Neill, who is also the host of this show, The Onealien Show. And as you know, we're an agent of change. So every time I come, I'm just talking about my own life. I'm talking about my own journey, and I'm talking about times and things that I've picked up along the way to help me change, to help me evolve, to help me ascend, right, into the best self that I could be. And it's never stopping. So, buckle up your seatbelts. Like I said, let's go on a little bit of a ride. Today, we're going to focus on those of you who have not gotten it. You need to get it. I'm going to pick it up right here and show it to you. This is the Path of the Lion. This is a 4 parts of a path of a lion that I talked about since the beginning, since the first show. I talked about it. I talked about the evolution, and I talked about the growth, and I talked about things along the way, steps along the way to pay attention to note, right? And you can see your own progress going down the path of the lion. Right? And if you don't have, so get out your copy. And if you don't have a copy, then you know where to get it. Go to theonealien.com and make sure you put your email in, and I'm going to send you a copy. Everybody should have a copy of The Path of the Lion. What are you waiting for? What's the problem? Get it soon. The Path of the Lion. So today I want to take a piece of that, and I just want to focus on it a little bit, right? Step number 3 on the Path of the Lion is letting your lion roar. And what that means is that whenever you are in a process, whenever you are seeking to become a better person, whenever you are in the middle of change, oftentimes you have to muster up a roar inside of you. Oftentimes you have to unleash your inner lion and allow it to roar, allow it to bark. Bark. It's a lion. That's a dog, not a cat, right? Allow it to roar is all we're saying, right? Allow it to look at your opposition. That's number 3, is looking at your opposition, because ultimately in life, things happen. So those of you who have a vision, those of you who have grown enough to have some type of vision for yourself, whether you're in your early 20s, whether you're at 3rd, 4th, it doesn't matter what age you're at, doesn't matter what stage you're at in life, right? I hope that you're a person who has a vision for yourself, right? A goal, who has something they're trying to achieve, right? A vision for yourself is what you should have. You should have that already. And if you don't have that already, then we need to talk about some other things before this step. But those of you who have a vision, those of you who have something that you see yourself doing 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, those of you who have some destination that you want to get to. That's a vision. And we want to paint that picture and we want to make it plain, right? So what vision do you see for yourself is the question. What vision? Where do you see yourself? 10 years ago, there were things I saw for myself. And as I have described to a lot of you, many of those things, many pieces of my vision have transpired. They've come to pass. They are here. They are alive and in effect, right? And so when we talk about vision, when we talk about where you want to go, when we talk about how you elevate yourself into your best self, a lot of times you want to know what your motivation and your inspiration is in order to get down that path, because you're going to need something. You're going to need a why, right? That's the question we ask. What is your why? Why are you doing that? Why do you have that vision for yourself? Why do you want to get there? Why are you going to go through life and all the pains and the journey it takes, the process? It's not easy. Why are you doing it? Because if you don't have a why, if you don't have a concrete why, if you don't have a specific why, then there will be times along your journey where you may lose motivation, or you may lose inspiration, or you may lose sight of where you're going and your vision, right? So why? What is your why? What motivates you? What inspires you? What is your vision that you want to move towards, right? And then like any endeavor that we go on, we want to prepare, right? We want to be prepared. So a lot of us have those visions, and a lot of us know where we want to go. And if we start out without preparation, then we will run the risk of failing, right? And so we want to prepare. We want to prepare ourselves for the journey. And little do you know that whatever your vision is, whatever vision has been given to you specifically, it's an individual thing. Your journey, your life, your entire life, right? Your experiences, the goals that you've had, the plans that you wrote down and executed on, the roadmap that you've journeyed through, the path that you have been going in your entire life, however long you've been walking this planet Earth, right? All of that is in preparation. All of those experiences, all of those relationships, all of the people that intersected in your life, all of the places that you've been, all the strangers that you met, all of the experiences of your life have been preparing you ultimately for your specific vision. I don't know why I can't say that today. Specific vision is yours. And so what is it? What is it? And as you prepare, as you have been preparing, as life has been preparing you to walk into that vision, right? You had to gather equipment. You had to gather all the equipment. You had to gather things along the way, okay? You had to gather the things that would help you get to that vision. There's things, whatever your vision is, there's things you have to gather along the way, okay? It may be some failures. It may be some, whatever it is, you equipped yourself during the process, okay, to get to your vision. And at some point, hopefully, you took, if you remember the healer's journey, if you remember some of our shows, a lot of times we talk about that leap of faith. We talk about making that first step. If you heard me when I was in Paris, I talked about making today your someday. All of those things are launching. All of those things are stepping out. Faith, you got to make your first step. Why do you keep sitting around with your plans in the drawer? Why do you keep sitting around with your vision board falling off the wall? Why do you keep sitting around with that vision that you keep dreaming about, that you keep talking about, that you keep telling people about, right? I had a vision for the book. I've been talking to people about it for like 30 years, for goodness sakes. Okay? Preparation. So at some point you have to take that first step. You got to walk out. You got to leap. You got a faith. You got to move. You got to make a move. Okay? You got to make your move. And the crazy thing about life is, one of the crazy unexplained phenomena about life is that ultimately when you start getting on your way, when you start something, then you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested. If you really have a vision, if you have a grand vision, if you have something that is beyond your sight even, that is beyond your, could be beyond your abilities right now even, right? But you have that vision and you know that it is yours. And so you want to launch out and get onto that. But ultimately, right, an obstacle will rise up and loom in front of you. A mountain will loom in front of you. Ultimately, it's just how life is. I don't build mountains. I didn't put it there in front of you. I don't know why, but ultimately, when we start on that path, when we start on that journey, when we're trying to get to our vision and we're trying to get to our destination, obstacles come our way. They just do. They just do. They do it. They do it to test you. Are you really sure? Do you really want that? Are you motivated? Where does it come from? What is your why? Is your why enough to get you there? So obstacles will come in your way. And today we're going to tell a story about a mountain climber. And that mountain climber is me. And that mountain climber is you. And that mountain climber, that mountain is that obstacle. Because a lot of times, like I said, when we start on our path, something looms before us. And so we want to make sure that we are, all the things I talked about, prepared and equipped and motivated and inspired, right? Because when that mountain looms before us, sometimes it looks bigger than life. It looks huge. Like, how can I ever get past that? How am I going to overcome this thing? And as a mountain climber, we have all of our equipment. We have our bag. We have our rope. We have our mountain climbers chime in. I don't know what the freak y'all do. We have our metal things that we hammer in. We have all the safety equipment. We have first aid, I'm assuming, right? The right shoes to get up the mountain, the right clothing to get up the mountain. We've checked the weather. We've checked everything to get up this mountain, to get to our vision. And so this hiker, who's me and who is you, who's been prepared in the journey of their life and who has this vision, this grand vision that we want to get to, but unfortunately or fortunately, oops, those are key words politically. Somebody's going to, oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. Fortunately, we're going to land right there. There is going to be an obstacle. And I say fortunately because don't nothing good come unless you can get through that trial, right? So fortunately, there's an obstacle in front of us. There's a mountain that stands before you. Somebody listening right now has a mountain in front of them. Somebody is desperate. Somebody is in despair. Somebody is standing before a huge mountain. And even though you might feel prepared, you got to make it up there. And so how do we do that? What kind of obstacles, what kind of mountains could possibly come in front of me that I have to climb to get to my vision? Well, there's a few things that we could elaborate on slightly, right? What could stop you from reaching your destination? What could stop you from ascending that mountain? One of the mountains that loom in front of you while you're progressing might be broken relationships. Broken relationships all around. We talked about that in a couple other shows, right? Broken relationships. How many relationships in your life right now are obstacles in front of you? How many relationships are wearing on you? How many phone calls, when the caller ID comes up, you hesitate to even answer it, right? That's an obstacle. That is a mountain that is in front of you that in order for you to progress, in order for you to keep going, we might have to mend something. We might have to we might have to settle something. We might have to remove that broken relationship mountain that's in front of us. We might have something else that's called abuse of any kind. Some of us are suffering from abuse today. Some of us have a looming abusive mountain in front of us. Some of us maybe physically, maybe verbally, right? Some of us go through these things all the time. It may be in your workplace, God forbid, hopefully not. It may be at home, God forbid, hopefully not, right? Abuse of any kind is rejected, right? That is negative. That is negative energy, and we don't take that. But that mountain might be in front of you, and you don't know how to get past it. You don't know how to get over it. You don't know how to get through. You don't know how to overcome this large obstacle that is preventing you from getting to your vision. Mountain climber. Sometimes we fall into being victims, right? We fall into our circumstances and woe is me, I'm down and out, and this always happens, and every time I turn around, all those victim sayings, I don't even know them because I don't use them. Right? But some of you are legitimately feeling like a victim today. Stop it, right? That victim mentality is a gigantic mountain in front of you. And if you're going to get to any type of vision, any type of progress, you got to get past that, right? You're not a victim. You could be victorious. And another thing that might loom in front of you, another obstacle that may be affecting your progress towards your vision, another mountain climber with me, right? Might be your family. Sometimes our family, our loved ones, oh my goodness, we love them, but we just love them, okay? That's it, right? Our family, sometimes they are an obstacle. Sometimes they don't put positive words into our life. Sometimes they don't jump on board and support us how we need them to support us. I didn't say how I want, I said need. Sometimes we need our family behind us. Sometimes our family is just so dysfunctional that your vision and your goal, they're just not going to buy into it. They're not going to see it. They're not going to understand it. So that's a huge mountain that looms in front of you. Some mountains might be the death of a loved one. Oh my goodness, we've had a couple shows, the last 2 shows, right? Mr. Dukes was here, Mr. Chukwuemeka, Pastor Doug. They talked about losing loved ones, and a lot of times, man, it's the pain. A lot of times it could be stymieing. A lot of times it could set you back. The death of a loved one, someone real close to you, when they depart, it feels like you're losing a part of yourself. And so sometimes that's a huge mountain as you fall into potentially depression, or as you fall into just a bad state of mind. Sometimes you just lose yourself. Without that person in your life, it's like you lost a piece of yourself, right? And that's a huge mountain looming in front of you, mountain climber. And so another thing might be a financial disaster. Man, we never know in finances, right? Everything could be humming along smooth and boom, something happens and it just drops out from underneath you. Sometimes financial issues could cause you to stop pursuing your vision. Ooh, I've been there. Oh my goodness, I've been there, right? I've been there. Had that huge financial mountain in front of me. And sometimes, one more, and that is sometimes it's just the peer pressure. Sometimes it's just the people that you have around you. They're holding you back, right? They're tying you down. And so it's you got to free yourself from that, right? You got to get on the path of your vision. Get on the path of your vision. What are you waiting for? And so as we stand and we look at this huge mountain that is in front of us, all of us have one in front of us. What mountain do you have in front of you right now? What mountain do you need to climb? Path of the Lion says, speak directly to your opposition. Speak directly to those broken relationships and say, I'm going to fix this, or I'm going to remove it. Speak directly to that abuse and say, I know my value and I'm no longer going to accept this. Speak directly to victim mentality and say, I am not a victim, I'm victorious. Speak directly to your family and say, you're my family and I love you, but I got a vision and I got to move. Speak directly to, right? That's what the path of the lion says. Number 3 is let your lion roar by speaking directly to your opposition. And our opposition today in our story is this huge mountains that loom in front of us. This huge mountain that looms in front of you. What large obstacle is in your way? Think about it. Write it down. You have a vision. There's something that you have seen yourself doing, going, getting to, establishing. And something may be in your way. What obstacle, what mountain shall we climb? So let's start our climb today. Let's start it together, because you know what? Like I said, we're prepared. Life has prepared us. What other preparation do we need? We can overcome, because I have overcome so many other things in my life. So we can overcome this. We're prepared. We've got our equipment. We've got our rope. We've got our spikes. We've got our first aid. We've got the right shoes on and the right clothing on and our hat for the sun. We have prepared. Life has prepared you for your vision. So let's start climbing today. What's stopping you? That's the question. What is stopping you from overcoming that obstacle? What is stopping you? What has slowed your momentum down? A lot of times, stress, when you start getting into your vision, when you start moving towards that, a lot of stuff is coming, right? When I started building businesses, man, it was stressful. There's a lot of people, a lot of responsibility, a lot of state regulations, a lot of document. There's just a lot of things. And so even though I've started up that mountain, even though we're climbing, Even though we're trying to get past this obstacle, there's still going to be things that could slow our momentum down, right? Our momentum is our force, our energy, upward momentum. But there are things, stress is one of them. You could get stressed out in your process. You could start doubting where you're going. Will I ever overcome this? Will I ever get past this? Is doubt sometimes sets into our mind. Am I the right person for this? Was this really my vision? And then sometimes we fall into, oh my goodness, we fall into another momentum stopper of excuses. Well, this isn't the right time. Well, maybe I should. Well, this wasn't. Man, it's so easy to come up with excuses. And that is something that will stop your momentum. We got to climb this mountain, y'all. There's an obstacle in front of us. Let's get up it. We're equipped and we're starting our trek. Upwards, upwards, upwards. Low self-esteem can't stop me. Negative influences can't stop my momentum. Protect your energy. Positive vibes only. Self-esteem. I know my value. I know I wouldn't have been led to the foot of this mountain if I didn't have what it took to get up over it. And so now we're climbing. We're climbing on and on. And a Path of the Lion says, let your lion roar by no compromise, no stress, no doubts, no excuses, high self-esteem, no negative influences. I will not compromise. I've got a vision. I've got a huge mountain. I've got a mountain I got to tackle with or without you. Because there's an obstacle in my way, and I'm climbing up that mountain. And you're climbing with me, because you're climbing your mountain too. And we're going up that mountain. And we're determined. And when you're determined, you're focused. And that's our next one. How focused are you? How focused was I on completing the book? I wasn't focused at all. I was over here running around doing all types of stuff. How many projects do you have on the shelf that need to be taken off the shelf and be in transpire? Allow them to happen, because they're going to move you closer to your vision. So how focused are you? I was told one time early in my professional career to have laser focus, one thing at a time. That's what I was told. One thing at a time. Laser focus, get it done, pick up something else, laser focus, get it done. Which was a hard thing for me to do, because I had always been the, jack of all trades. I think they say master of none, but I'm master of some, so watch your mouth. But jack of all trades. So I had a whole bunch of stuff. Bring it on. I could do it. Man, I could do all of this. I could do it. I got the abilities. I got the confidence. Yeah, bring it. No. Hold on a minute. There's no doubt that I'm going to get it all done, but let's get it done the right way. Let's focus. So as we're climbing up this mountain, as we're removing ourselves, as we're overcoming the obstacle that is stopping us from reaching the pinnacle, from reaching the peak, from getting to our vision, we want to remain laser focused. Why? Because the journey up your mountain is going to be strenuous. And if you're looking down and looking around, you're going to lose sight of that top. Stay laser focused on your mountain, because life is a tough road. We know it. The mountain, it may have looked nice and smooth from a distance, but once you get up close, man, there's all types of dips and ravines and rocks and there's all types of things in our way as we trek up, as we experience life's ups and downs, as we have failures sometimes and successes, right? But we stay focused on where we're going. We're trekking up this hill. We're going to conquer the obstacle that is in front of you today. We're going to let your lion roar at all of the opposition. So stay focused. Stay focused on your vision. Do not detour. I call it true north in one of my trainings. Staying directly true north, right? Y'all know that they say that one of your legs is just a tiny bit different in length than the other one. And so if you're walking a straight line, eventually you're going to be just a slight degree off from where you started. And just that slight degree over time, down the line, in 2 years from now, in 5 years from now, there could be a large gap between where you started out vision and where you ended up destination. So we want to keep a laser focus as we're trekking up this mountain, as we're conquering this obstacle that is in front of me, your obstacle that's in front of you. And Path of the Lion says, keep your focus on your goals. It's right here. All of this stuff is right here. Why ain't you got a copy yet? Path of the Lion says, keep your focus on your goals. Keep your focus on every day. What is my goal? Focus. Every day. What is my goal? Focus. Win the day. Win the day. So as you're climbing up through this as you're climbing up your mountain, as we're climbing together up our mountains, equipped for the journey because life experiences and plans and maps have been laid out. And we've had other people have made it up, and they sent us a letter down by Eagle Carrier. And they told us how to get up there. They told us the best way. And they told us what to look for. But they cannot walk our path for us. It's our vision. It's my vision. And so I'm focused. And I'm going up that mountain. And my question to you is, have you surrounded yourself with people who helped you prepare for this? Did you try to do it alone? Did you make my mistakes early on in my life and just try to do it all alone? Or have you surrounded yourself with a team? Remember, assemble a team. We talked about that in our teamwork episode. And we talked about Avengers, right? Because you need a rope guy that brought the rope, and he has a right kind of rope, right? Not the Hobby Lobby rope. We need mountain climbing rope, right? You brought the lookout guy that is use the binoculars and tell whatever he scanned the whole mountain, and he know. You have an emergency guy just in case there's any type of mishaps. You got a guy that could bring you back to life or something, right? So you have all these people that surrounded you, but ultimately I'm up on this mountain alone. It's a journey that I got to take. It's an obstacle that I got to break. So ultimately, it's my vision, and it's my mountain to climb. Ultimately, you have a mountain right now. You have an obstacle that is stopping you from getting to your vision. What is your obstacle? I hope you wrote it down. What is stopping you? What mountain is in front of you? So ultimately, it's my vision. And I'm going to climb this mountain. And ultimately, life has prepared me for this. I know it has. And ultimately, I've got to get to the top. I've got to conquer this obstacle that has come in front of me. This obstacle is trying to stop my momentum because I've been progressing. I've been progressing down the path of the lion. He's been awakened. He's been released. He's roaring at this obstacle. Oh, man, oh, man. Oh, man, oh, man. I'm halfway up the mountain. Hold on a second. Hopefully you're halfway up yours too. Because as I'm going up the mountain, and ultimately, as many of us have done, regardless of our preparation and planning, and regardless of everything that we tried to do in order to make sure that we had the best chance to overcome the obstacle, right? Sometimes we slip and fall. Anybody ever slipped and fall? I slip and fall. And as I am climbing up this mountain, the weather changes a little bit. It might get a little breezy. It might get a little windy. Dark clouds may form above you. Are you scared yet? We got a long ways to go. This obstacle must be conquered. And so sometimes a storm will come. It's life, man. You have to endure storms no matter what path, no matter what step you're on in your journey. A storm will come. And as I'm up on this mountain, as you're up on your mountain, possibly, potentially, ultimately, probably, a storm is going to come. And when that storm comes and the winds are blowing and the dark clouds form over you, have you cried out for help? How many of you wait until the last second to cry out for help? How many of us wait until it's too late and then it's like an emergency situation until we cry out for help? Remember, we got to surround ourselves with help. Okay. But in this instance, on this mountain, in front of my looming mountain, the obstacle that is in my way from reaching my vision, from becoming my ultimate self, from change that will better me in so many positive ways. I'm going to try to avoid falling, but life happens. And I slipped. Sometimes we slip up. Sometimes we stumble. And sometimes going up our mountain, we fall. And on this mountain, we fall. And we fall off the edge. And we could feel the wind blowing around us. And we could feel the rain start coming down. And you see your life flashing before you because you're flailing in the midair of the mountain. And just as you may have thought that you're done, just as you may have thought that your vision was ruined, just as you may have thought the obstacle was too much for you to bear, just when, bam, oh, you get hung up. You forgot you had prepared for this. You forgot that you had a safety rope secured in above you. And as you were falling and flailing into the darkness and the wind started coming up and life is just coming at you and people are passing away and jobs are lost and finances and oh my gosh, the kids ain't acting right and the wife is nagging and all those things that might be happening in your life, the storm is swirling around you. And you got caught by your safety rope and you were so thankful. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for the safety rope. Thank you for my preparation. Thank you for the pointers of the people who helped me. Thank you. I'm so relieved. Even though I'm hanging from the side of the mountain in midair, even though I'm starting to get shook a little bit because the wind and the rain and it's getting dark and I can't see nothing. I've got my safety rope. I didn't fall. I didn't die. I'm still here. But guess what? You fallen and you're suspended over darkness, just hanging. Sometimes in our progress, sometimes in our journey, we feel like we're just hanging. We feel like we're suspended. We feel like we're in the darkness, in the middle of a storm. And sometimes we're just grateful that we had a safety line. We had a safety rope so that we didn't fall all the way. And so on this day, you as the mountain climber were saved by your preparation. You were saved by the Avengers, the team you had put around you. You were saved. And as you hang there, suspended, you can't even see the ground below you. You don't know how far it is. You can't see the ledge maybe you can get over to. You can't see anything. Because a lot of times when we're climbing our own mountains, we can't see anything around us. That's why we got to stay focused. And so as you sit there, hang there, suspend there, as we hang in midair, still hanging on to our vision, still not giving up to the obstacle. We find out what the real obstacle is in life, and that's fear. The real obstacle for all of us reaching our vision is fear. And fear hits you right now. This is where fear overcomes you. Because you know that the way to get off of this, the way to release yourself, the way to free yourself, the way to get back on track is to cut the rope. And you reach down into your equipment because you're well equipped for this journey. And you pull out your knife and you grab onto that rope that's saving your life. You grab onto it and hold onto it so tight, and you've got the knife, and you know, I got to cut. Wait a minute. If I cut this rope, where am I going to land? I'm going to fall to my death. And as you look behind you and you just can't see how far it goes, and you wish you could see the bottom. You wish you could be secure with a safe assuredness of a safe landing. You wish. The question I have for you today is, as we're suspended in midair, in the blackness of night, as darkness all around, as we were trying to get to our vision and overcome this obstacle, as fear, the number one momentum stopper, has gripped us as we're suspended in midair. And the voice keeps coming to our head saying, cut the rope. What's wrong with you? Cut the rope. You can't hang there all day, all night. The question is, what will you do? Where's your trust? The question is, will you be found on the road to your vision? Will you be found halfway over your obstacle, halfway up your mountain that looms before you? Will you be found spiritually, physically, mentally maybe, dead? The thing about it is when fear grips you, the only way you could progress, the only way you could grow is to conquer that fear. And so I'm asking everybody today, right now, on the Onealien Show, what fear has gripped you? What the freak are you afraid of? And more importantly, what rope are you hanging on to? What rope are you clinging to? What is gripping in your hands? What are you being told to let go? Simply to save your freaking life, man. Let go of the rope. Oh my goodness. Some of you are holding tightly to something. Some of you are gripping your rope and you think that is the only way you can survive. But I'm here to tell you, clinging to those things of your past is not going to help you today. You got to let them go. Drop the rope. Let it go. You keep holding on to it with all of your strength and your might. And it's causing you to be suspended in blackness. Let go of that rope. Some of you might be clinging to something that things that you feel secure about and safe about. You're clinging on to that job you've been on for 15 years. You're clinging on to that person who doesn't quite treat you right, but is comfortable and right? You're clinging on to something that has given you security and safety, and it's killing you in the process. Ooh. Let go of that rope. Fear has you hanging on and not letting go. Even though I'm telling you today to take out your knife and cut it loose. Let it go. Holding on to those things that are preventing you from reaching your best life, your highest potential. Today, I'm telling you, as we climb our mountains that are stopping our momentum, as we have obstacles in front of us that are preventing us from getting to our vision, as we are well equipped to conquer it, yet fear can grip us at any moment. Cut the rope. We got to let something go. You're hanging on to something today that is stopping you from being your best self. What is it? Write it down. Because this time, you got to trust somebody. Because what you don't want to happen is what happens to some people that are stuck in fear and never move. Suspended in midair, hanging on to something that they feel like is saving their life. Yet, if they just would have trusted, because those people who allow fear to conquer them instead of conquering their obstacle. Those people, they're found when the sun comes up on the next day, on that same mountain, that same obstacle, those same bad relationships, that same abusive relationship, the same things, the same family members that aren't supportive, the same death of a loved one that has captivated you, the same financial disasters that keep hitting you. See, in the morning when the sun comes up, I want you to be like me. I want you to have conquered your fear. What I don't want you to be is found hanging from something you wouldn't let go 2 feet off the floor because you didn't see, because you didn't trust. You didn't trust yourself. Pull out your knife, cut the rope, land 2 feet down, and live. Let's keep going back up our mountain. This is John O'Neill. Let your lion roar. Everybody has an obstacle. We all have obstacles. We're all equipped to get over it. But when you are going through your process, when you're going through your journey, when you're going through it, when you are overcoming what's in front of you, be sure that the number one momentum stopper, the number one thing is fear. And what I never want to see is the sun to come up on you dead in suspension 2 feet off the ground. Cut your rope. Let it go. This is John O'Neill. And that's it, baby. See you next week. Cut something loose. We're out.